Happy to be joined by one of the most well-known fighters in the New England area. Devin Powell of Nostos MMA is back. Devin, how are you?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm good, man. And as I was saying before we went live, you're living the good life. Tell me a little bit about the pond that you're on there.
Yeah, this is L Pond. We live right on a body of water in Wells, Maine. It's been almost 8 years. Yeah, we're just kind of paddling around right now. We're just swimming. We just hit some pads, so get a little water recovery. Nice fresh water. Feels good.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
It looks like a beautiful place, so congratulations on that. Hey, tell me, what have you been up to over the last couple of months? I mean, obviously this pandemic has really slowed everyone down. I do follow you on Instagram and Twitter. I know you've been active and still staying sharp, but how has it affected your ability to train and do what you love to do?
The first bit of it. I mean, I had after my last fight in Bellator, I had to get knee surgery because I tore my knee in the fight. So really, the way it kind of played out, like I feel super bad for all the guys that fought at Bellator that were supposed to fight that last card at Mohegan Sun, and then it all got scrapped after weigh-ins. But I feel like I would have been on that card if my knee wasn't hurt, and then I couldn't fight, obviously, and then the card didn't even happen. So I didn't really get affected too much because I just kind of have been rehabbing, and then after that fight card got canceled, I feel like I was pretty much good to try and get back into fighting. So I've been just training super hard. The gym got affected really heavy. We lost more than half of our students, but it is what it is. We're back to open, and we're rebuilding. So I feel good. I'm just ready to go. Whoever's gonna give me a call and get us paid and get us back in the cage.
So I was just saying, as far as the loss of the students that you had at the gym during this pandemic, is that something you feel optimistic about that you'll be able to regain?
Yeah, I'm optimistic. I think a lot of people are scared, and a lot of people didn't want to be spending their money in a gym that they can't physically go into. We ran classes 6 days a week online, but it's it's not the same. So we think everyone's going to come back, or at least a big group of them. Fortunately, we've had a lot of people contacting us that are brand new. We've had almost 10 signups in probably a little over a week or so. And they're all brand new people. So things are getting back to normal. We just it'll take time, and it's still not normal training as far as what we're legally allowed to do. I'm getting kind of my behind the closed doors training where I'm sparring and rolling and stuff, but not doing it like in the actual like normal gym sense. That has to be masks on when you enter the gym, and then it has to be 8 feet apart at all times. So it's a little crazy, but it is what it is.
I have seen some images, some videos of you training at Hard Knocks Muay Thai with Jake. Who have been some of the main people you've been getting your work in with when you do get the chance, solid MMA work in?
Yeah, so Jake I've wanted to train with for a long time now because he's always at Joe's gym, and I was going down there before this every single Monday, and if fight camp, I'd come down every here and there on Saturdays for sparring. So yeah, he I just started working with, and I'm super excited about that. Other than that, I've just been working with coaches from my gym and stuff, and yeah, my wife is a good pad feeder, so she's always keeping me on my toes. We come up with a lot of fun combinations and stuff. But yeah, a bunch of my teammates and stuff are still looking to work, the fighters that train there. And we have some up and coming guys. Nate Grimmerd is an up and coming guy that trains every single day, and he's always coming over, and we're getting work in together. He's a good college wrestler. So yeah, and I'm hoping that because Calvin just got a good fight, I'm hoping that I can get over and work with him and Tyson a bit, because Ige is a solid opponent. I think his chance to win would be trying to hold Calvin down. I don't think anybody's looking to stand with him anymore. And I think my jiu-jitsu is above and beyond most of the guys around. So hoping I can get some work with those guys, since I'm sponsored by not sponsored. I'm managed by Calvin, or not Calvin.
Tyson.
Everything's crazy right now by Tyson. My daughter, as you see, is frantically trying to climb a board here, and the whole world is spinning around. All right, you good now, dude? It's the most chaotic interview I've ever done on the most peaceful place in the world.
You think Ige has a chance of winning?
I mean, MMA is like, even if it's your best friend going in there, you know, you're still going to be kind of getting the shakes and be nervous for him. I think Calvin's definitely where he belongs as far as being in the top. I think he's 6 right now, but he's got to be the one of the best fighters on the planet. You know, he's that good. But Ige is a great fighter, but I don't think that he's as much of like a one-punch kind of guy as Jeremy. So I think he's a lot better than Jeremy, to be honest. I think all around better, just not that scary, like always can catch you kind of person. I think that Ige can only beat him if he can manage to hold him down for 3 rounds. Mm-hmm. He is quick. He's got great boxing, but he's not really that knockout punch fighter. And Calvin's really never been put away. I think when he was back in like combat zone, one of his first ever fights, he got caught in an armbar or something. But he's a wrestler. People forget too. You know, he's not even he is a striker through and through in the UFC, but he grew up as a wrestler, so he's not easy to take down or hold down, and he knows what he's doing grappling too, you know, just as far as submission grappling goes. So there's no easy way to approach fighting Calvin. So I think that it's definitely Calvin's fight, you know, and I would never put money on anyone else whenever he's in that cage.
Yeah, he's clearly really taken some significant steps, and he's one of the best in the world, no doubt about it. You know, Devin, as I've mentioned to you before, as everyone knows, you're one of the most respected and well-known fighters here in the New England area. I'm sure you've seen the new rankings that Travis Lizotte and his team put together there. What are your overall thoughts on that? Do you agree with the way that they shook out?
You know what? If you gave me some examples, I actually haven't even seen them. I like Travis a lot, so I should look at that stuff, but I haven't seen him. I know that there was a lot of talk of like the whole Bissett and Boyington thing. There's a lot of buzz going along that kind of deal. I know a lot of people want to see him fight. I don't know if Matt actually wants to fight Bissett. I think Matt wants to actually fight Boyington. I think he's telling him to go out there and get a win. But yeah, I don't really know much about him. Is it all like just local league rankings, or is it just like New England fighters that are on all platforms kind of deal, or what?
Yeah, it's basically all of the fighters that are outside of the major promotions. So you're excluded because, you know, you were in the UFC and now Bellator. So, you know, it's fighters like, you know, Bissett and Boyington that are now back. You know, they're fighting CES and whatnot. But I think all in all, they did a really good job, man. They looked at everything collectively. I think they did 40%. Owners of the promotions has like a weighted 40% vote. Media members is a weighted 40% vote. And then the fan vote was the other 20%. So I think all in all, they came out really good. You should check it out when you do have a chance, because I think they did a good job.
Yeah, I definitely will, because that's definitely stuff that's interesting to me. As far as Bissett being up on the top, I mean, that's a no-brainer to me. You know, I think he, you know, it just wasn't his night a couple times when he was on the biggest stage, but he belongs at the biggest stage. He just, you know, right now it's local. I don't know how many times he wants to fight from here on out. I think he was close to calling it wraps before he even got a shot in the UFC, and then and now he's a police officer and stuff. So I think that he can keep winning anywhere. It's just to have 2 tough losses right in a row. It's such an easy thing to happen. You know, I had it happen. You know, one of them was a split decision. One of them I went into Jakar's backyard in Phoenix, my first kind of shell shock entrance into the UFC. So I know what it's like. It's, you know, it always haunts you, but I think Bissett's right up there at the top of the world. You know, he's a great talent, you know, fantastic striker, super fun to watch, highlight reel guy. And yeah, I think Pedro's still somewhere in there too. I don't know which weight class, but Pedro is one of those guys too that should belong to one of those world-class organizations. He's really good everywhere, and he's super fan-friendly too.
Hey, tell me, how does Bissett Boyington end up? Who gets their hand raised, and how does the fight end?
Oh man, I mean, I think Bissett is just a little bit above him. You know, I would say submission if it gets finished. You know, Boyington's pretty durable, so he doesn't. You know, he can take some shots, and I don't think I think he got TKO'd maybe by Rick Hahn forever ago. Maybe it's happened again. I don't know. He's had a lot of tough fights, but if he loses, it's usually a sub. And Bassett's a good black belt. And I don't think Bassett ever goes away. It's the problem. Like, I don't think he'd end up getting tired and then get outworked or anything. So, but that's why they fight. I'd love to see that fight. I like both those guys, and it's styles make matchups. He's got that crazy Taekwondo style, and Bassett's just a grinder that'll put on a crazy barn burner every time he goes in there. So I'd like to see it. I just don't know if it'll happen.
Yeah, me too. I hope that CES or another promotion can get that fight made, because I know the fans here in New England would love to see it. Devin, the last time that we saw you compete was, as we talked about earlier, at Bellator. It was in actually October of last year, so it's been a little while. I spoke to you before that fight, but I didn't really get a chance to do an interview or talk to you afterwards. Tell me, how was your first official Bellator experience there, under the bright lights, fighting in front of your good sponsor, Bert Falero, there at the Mohegan Sun?
It was awesome, man. I liked it because I didn't feel any pressure, like when you're doing weigh-ins with the UFC, like they're walking around, like checking your underwear, like checking your socks, making sure absolutely everything is like reebok. They're like all over you. I mean, it's a huge promotion, so they need to make sure that everything's perfect. But there's just so many obligations with Bellator. Honestly, I felt like I was fighting at like a local league, even though it was a worldwide promotion. Like I was like, do I have to change into anything for weigh-ins? They're like, no, you're good. Just wear what you're wearing. Like, okay. So we just do weigh-ins, and then they're like, all right, guys, everybody did an awesome job. Just make sure you're at the arena by 1 o'clock or something like that, and you guys are good. And like that was it. It was just really laid back, which would probably be too lax for some of the guys. Like, the thing with Bellator is they'll give guys fights that maybe aren't too good, that they're trying to either build a local guy or whatever, and then you get like the higher up in prelims or the main card fights, which those guys are getting paid better, and those are more like better, like high quality fights. So those lower level guys, to give them that little like guidance, it's a little scary. Like, I feel like you might get some no-shows or some late guys or whatever, but I liked it because I've done it enough that I know what I'm supposed to be doing, and I just didn't have any pressure. I got to walk in with my own shorts and my banner behind me again for the first time since Dana White looking for a fight. Right, so
a tough opponent, and really, man, that was a fantastic finish to get the win like that. Looking back on it now, what's the takeaway from the win?
Yeah, I mean, it was great to go in there against somebody that wanted to grapple with me. I feel like, honestly, when I look at it from like a non-biased standpoint, every time I lose, it's usually because I have somebody that manages to catch a kick and they waste time standing over top of me, because they don't want to grapple with me, and they don't want to let me back up on my feet either. But Marcus Surin was he was Frankie Edgar's wrestling. Like they were roommates, and they wrestled together a bit. And he was the captain of his D1 team. Fantastic wrestler, brown belt under Henzo. So like he was all in when we were grappling. He went for a nice head and arm on me. I escaped, and we had some awesome exchanges, which made the fight exciting. And then I had some awesome moments on my feet. I think some good elbows and stuff. So yeah, it was just a fun fight. I just liked it because it was a good fighter, and I got to actually be a martial artist in there. I don't feel like I got stalled out. I feel like we both got to fight, and I just came out on top. And thankfully, it was something that ended up getting like 35 million views. So I hope that, raises my stake, and I get an opportunity for something else big coming up soon. We'll just kind of waiting and seeing. I'm just staying ready. That's all I can do.
How did you celebrate afterwards, man? That was the first time that I had been to Mohegan Sun to witness an MMA event live, and I was right there cage side. It was an awesome venue, and there was a lot of electricity in the air. How did you celebrate the win afterwards?
We had some guy that worked at Mohegan that had a nightclub, and he gave us like our own section of the nightclub, which is like, we don't really do that stuff much, but sometimes it's nice to celebrate. So they like brought over some bottles and stuff. And then I was talking to Joe because Joe Lozon corners me and I train with him, and he'd said something about gambling, like always bet on black, I think. And I just put $50 on it and I ended up winning, and so I think I doubled my money and I quit there. I don't really gamble, so maybe if I get a legit contract from Bellator, I'll put a little more money in. But I think I earned it. I hope that if that's my next fight, I get a legit contract, because those main card guys make good money. But you know, the lower fights don't. I definitely wouldn't fight again for what I made my last fight. So yeah, I mean, we just kind of partied down in the morning. We went and did some bowling and played some arcade games. So I like fighting Mohegan. It's a fun spot. Yeah. Now we'll see where the next one is. You know, whether it's Bellator or you know, maybe ONE FC if they can call me. Or I told Sean Shelby that I'm available. I don't have a contract. If Fight Island needs somebody, just give me a call. You know, I'm walking around in the high 70s, which is easy to get. Well, not easy. It's never easy hitting 55, but you know, I'm walking around pretty lean. The last time I fought, when I got to the arena the day after weigh-ins, when they check your weight again, it was 178. So you know, I cut a good amount of weight, but I know what I'm doing, so I can make it if I get the call.
Now, you tweeted a video of yourself in a Borat song. If you make it down to Fight Island, you're going to go down there just with that on. Is that something that you plan to honor and go in there and do?
If I got a call and was able to fight on a historic thing like that, I would honor it. I don't think a lot of people would really want to see it, but I'd put it on. What? He's talking about the video, the LMFAO or whatever. Yeah. I'll do whatever, man. I just want to fight. You know, I'm healthy, and I think that honestly, I'm training harder than a lot of the people out there right now. So it's kind of a good time to get out there. Like I'm seeing some guys like my great friend Charles Rosa. He got an awesome fight opportunity right after a full fight camp against the guy that you could tell that he was quarantining hard. You know, he had a belly, and you know, it was still a good fight, but Charles is just in way better shape. You know, I'm sure if they gave me a 55er at 170, you know, there's a lot of them out there that probably were enjoying the couch a lot and some good food, you know, but I've been training constantly and I feel ready to go. So, yeah.
Do you have a preference, Devin, you know, going, fighting on Fight Island, maybe getting another crack at the UFC, or, you know, signing a deal with Bellator and staying there and making a run in the division there in Bellator? Is there a preference?
Yeah, I mean, I wish that Bellator would just give me a good contract, you know, and pay me at the very least, start me off with lower level UFC pay. You know, there's guys like Aaron Pico that after it might have been his first fight or one of his first fights, he was already making 50 and 50. Obviously, I'm not, you know, I don't have any like fame like that kid did before, but you know, I got the UFC background. I just got them 35 million views on a bunch of different platforms. They were on ESPN, which it's not as common for a Bellator fight to get that kind of coverage. So I feel like I could get rewarded with a little bit of coin after all these years of fighting. You know, and I'm all for being 100% a company man. You know, if I just get treated right and they give me the call, I'm just waiting.
Is there a name or two, anyone that comes to mind that you'd like to step in there and tangle with next?
When it was Bellator, I said that I wanted to fight the kid that fought the same night as me. He fought Nick Newell and he won, you know. I think Nick's better than that kid. And, you know, I think Nick's one of the greatest fighters out there too. And he, you know, it just wasn't his best performance. And that happens again to all of us. But I just felt like that kid was on the main card. I want to be on the main card. I want to get paid for my, you know, for what I do. I almost always come out of there limping, you know, like broken nose, broken orbital bone, torn knee multiple times, broken ribs, hyphema in my eye where I went blind in Argentina and nobody spoke English, so I didn't know if I'd see again. Like, the shit it's sorry for the swear, but it's rough, you know, it beats you up, and I want to get paid right. I'm not like going out there asking for crazy money, you know what I mean? But I want to, you know, I want to be happy with my payday. I don't want to get it and just like, you know, drop my head in shame. But yeah, I thought that fight would be awesome. I honestly don't even know his name. He might know it. You could find it pretty easy. But I think it makes sense because we both won the same night. I don't think he's fought since. And he was on the main card and he got the win. So that would be great. There's another fight. If I somehow got on, a short notice fight, I said that I wanted to fight John Gunter forever ago while we're both in there. And he's like, it would be like the mustache versus the beard. We were like talking a little bit on social media before, and then it just never panned out. So I always thought that'd be a fun one since he's a grappler, I'm a grappler, and he's a complete goofball, and so am I. But yeah, there's really not much else out there for names, really. I've always kind of just been willing to take whatever. Like I fought twice in the UFC, and then I wasn't hearing anything at all about getting another fight. And then I got injured, and I got on TMZ from the injury, and like Barstool Sports and the Jim Rome show and all that stuff. And I just said all I wanted was another opportunity. And then I offered to fill in to fight Evan Dunham on 30 days notice. And this was like 1 month after my surgery from a ruptured testicle. And they didn't give me that fight. And then I got a call after 13 months of not fighting for them saying, will you fight on 30 days notice against Alvaro Herrera? And I said, of course, made the weight. And then I had a big liver kick knockout, and yeah, so I never really care too much who it is. And that might not be the smartest thing. It's just, I just want an opportunity because I know with anybody, it's just one little slip up, I can put anybody away on my feet or on the ground. So.
How do you feel you stack up with like the top 5 of the lightweight division in Bellator right now? Do you feel like you can go in there and really compete and hang with those guys and maybe make a title push?
I know so few of the fighters, to be honest, and it's like, I don't know if that's bad to say, but I think Pitbull is phenomenal, and I know he's the top dog, but I don't see anyone that I couldn't catch and submit. You know what I mean? He's not the kind of person that I'd be like, yeah, I should totally kickbox with this guy. Because it's just Joe Lozon always tells me that I should grapple more and I should actually use my black belt more often and try and get on top and stuff. But I definitely think that I can hang with the guys in the top 5. I know where I stack whenever I go and train at Lozon's with world-class athletes. I know where I am whenever I train with Joe, and I think Joe, if you talk to him, he'd tell you that I got some of the best grappling out there, and there's not many guys that can really grapple with me. So yeah, I'm open for anything. If I get a call, I want to go get on a plane and get in the cage.
I heard a rumor that Bellator might be coming back and have an event in July. What have you heard? Have you heard anything about a card coming up?
Yeah, I saw. I'm trying to think who it was. It might be Adam Piccoli or something like that fights for Bellator. I think it was his Instagram that I saw a post where he said his fight was like for July for Bellator or something. Which, if that's the case, man, I'm all for signing a good contract. I don't want to be out there like looking desperate. I just want to fight. So if somebody's willing to give me a good contract, we'll sign it, and I will, I'll put on the shirt and put on the hat and and go to work.
Yes, sir.
That's happening. I just need my manager Tyson to get on the right line and make it happen. So.
Well, I feel comfortable speaking for everyone else here in the New England area, saying we're really excited to see you step back into the cage soon, whether it is for Bellator or another shot in the UFC. Always fun to watch compete, my friend, and I appreciate you taking the time with me today. Hey, I did see a video or a picture recently with you in a Jordan USA jersey. Is that the real deal? Is that authentic?
Yeah, that thing's old. It was my brother's, and then it became mine, and I just never got rid of it. It's very faded, but it's still alive.
Nice. I got a couple myself. He was my idol growing up as a kid, so I just wanted to say kudos on that jersey.
Nice.
That's a nice one.
Thank you very much.
Well, listen, brother, I appreciate the time. Enjoy your family. If there's anyone you want to thank or plug your social media, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people to thank, but shout out as always to my manager who goes and finds me my fights and negotiates and stuff. Tyson Chartier, Top Game Management. Yeah, he's the person I'm always kind of waiting to hear from because he's kind of the boss. So shout out to him.